Good morning, y'all. Happy Saturday. We're doing something a bit weird today, and I can assure you my okay, let's start that over. I can assure you my setup is oh, it leaves much to be desired, but for now it will get the job done. And shout out to my mother-in-law for my Christmas gift, which I had to open early to make this possible. Alright, so I did promise y'all a Perler stream at some point. And I wasn't exactly sure how that was going to happen. But here we are. Did I set any of this up yesterday when I said I was going to? Absolutely not. This all happened within the past hour. I will never, ever learn. Anyway, I'm here. Hello. Put my hand in front of the camera. In front of the camera. There we go. Hello. Alright. So I did want to find some, like, Christmassy music, but... Or, wintry stuff. I don't know. But for now, this will have to do. Shout out to Pretzel Rocks. Why is this bag already open? That's dangerous. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I had this bag of Perlers that's just sitting here open, and I did not open it. And it somehow managed to get thrown around a bunch earlier and several times while I was rearranging without spilling black beads everywhere. Cool. So yeah, I've got a few different stations available here. Not a ton, because I'm using the free version right now just to see how this goes. But if this is getting a little too sleepy for y'all, let me know and I can change it to something else. Put on some EDM. Alright, so I made a few designs. They're nothing nothing particularly like creative or anything, but I mean they look like the things they're supposed to look like, so let's go ahead and get started. Now I did mess up because I made a couple snowflake designs, but they used the small hexagon pegboards, which I have several of. However, they are at my parents' house. So I cannot access those right now. So for everything we're going to be doing today, we're just going to use the 29 by 29 clear board. Nothing too special about it. And yeah, you can see in the corner I have a small camera set up for when we iron these, which will be a disaster, I'm sure. Also, said webcam is from, like, God, 2008, possibly 07, so it's not the highest quality. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off, because we're not using it. But yeah, let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna make here is a little gingerbread man. I myself don't care for gingerbread, but I think the little men are cute, so, you know. Oh yeah, so I use a toothpick to do these. This is something my mom figured out when we were doing these together when I first got really into them. I'm not used to talking while I do this, so, come on, get in there. I assure you the toothpick method is very efficient, but I have a webcam and a mic in front of my face, so I'm kind of having to guess where I'm putting these things. So yeah, I think I want to start with just the main outline here, and then we'll fill it in as we go. Doesn't go there, that goes over there. Do we have enough light here? Should I use another lamp? Another lamp probably would have been good, but I'm worried about, you know, getting reflections on this clear board. Okay, so that goes 3, 4, 5. Okay. So yeah, the cool thing is that, oh, the autofocus is being wonky, yeah. I could turn it off, but then I'm gonna have to, set it manually. Which actually may be something to do in a second. Hang on. Oh god, yeah, I see it. Hang on. How do I turn that off? Alright. Let's set this focus manually here. Alright, now it's on 0. Oh, okay. 0's fine. Okay. How does this look? Okay, it's not adjusting. Neat. Okay, so now we can just go ahead and fill this in. Really hoping that I didn't start too far to the side here. That's something I have a problem with doing quite a bit. I try to aim for the middle, but... you know. So I wanted to come up with some, like, game-related designs, but I have no idea what to do. If I do another one of these, we'll definitely do some, video game guys. Okay. So we're going to leave these ones blank. That's where the eyes are gonna go. Like a bunch of a la carte in different poses. Yep, I would like to do Castlevania, guys. But I can't just copy the actual sprite from, like, Symphony of the Night or whatever, because that thing is freaking gigantic. So I'm gonna have to work on it quite a bit to keep it, you know, practical. No. Nope. I'm vetoing that. Get in there. There we go. That's something I need to remember next week. I need to pick up some of my older Perler projects too, because I'd love to show those off on stream. I've made some fun stuff over the years. I actually didn't get into Perlers until I was in high school. My friends had them. Well, I had a couple friends who had them, so I kind of knew of them, but I only ever got to do one. I'm actually gonna go ahead and fill in the details now. Normally what I like to do is just go through all of one color, so I don't have to have a bunch of bags open and be swapping back and forth a bunch, but that gets difficult when you're distracted, and especially now when I'm trying to speak and do this at the same time. There we go. Let's just drop those little frosting eyes in. Come on. Now don't go in there sideways. Come on. Alright, cool. The Doom enemies, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Happy little gingerbread man. I don't know why I'm loading up all of these. I only need 4. Whatever, just go with it. These are really sticking to the toothpick. There are like little plastic tweezers you can buy to do this as well, but I don't know, I like the toothpick method. Okay. So now, do we start on the arms, or do we just keep going down? I guess let's start with the arms. Okay, that one's gonna be white. This one is brown, brown, brown. Okay. By the way, the color I'm using for this is light brown. I made the pattern using tan, but it just looks like, you know, looks like that gingerbread man could use a couple more minutes in the oven, so I changed it at the last second. Of course, you can make these any color you want. Use whatever you've got. If you don't have fresh, homemade is fine. How's the volume, by the way? Am I like way up in y'all's ears, or? Well, I would love to do a cooking stream one of these days. I don't know if it's ever gonna happen, so I have to take my chance to say that. Okay, this is messing with me. I need to put in the detail. If you don't have corn, substitute with mashed corn. There you go. Get in there. There we go. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Okay. Alright. Almost put the extra white beads into the brown bag. That wouldn't have been too disastrous, but it would have been slightly annoying. What's really annoying is when you buy one of those mixed batches that has like 2 to 3 different shades of translucent blue, and it's like, why are you like this? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that's when we go in. Okay. Alright, let's get going on the other arm here. I need to turn off the Fortnite thing. It's fine. Just gonna be a bunch of bot messages and brood. It's a good time. Okay, so that one's gonna be brown and then white and then brown. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Four, 2, 3, and then 1. Okay, so that's 1, 2, and then a white one there, and then 3, 4, 5. And then body. Okay, cool. So I thought I had a whole bunch of just clear beads. Somewhere. Apparently I don't. Center that a little bit more for y'all, sorry. Either I just can't find them or I use them all. Or I can't see them because they're invisible. Okay, before we start just flooding this with more light brown, let's go ahead and add the gumdrop buttons. So we need yellow, green, and red. You can use whatever, once again. Grabbing some yellows real fast. I've got them in one of these big old bead boxes. Which, if you want to get these for your perler beads and stuff, or I suppose even for regular beads, make sure you get some where the sides are actually fused to the bottom. Because if you get one of those like adjustable ones, you're going to have a bad time. They will come loose, you will have beads slide under there, and then all your stuff's gonna get mixed up anyway, so. Ugh. Save yourself a little bit of a headache. Plus, I think the regular ones are a little bit cheaper anyway, so. I was gonna use a dark green, but I kind of have a lighter green. I think that's more appropriate for gumdrops, so I'm gonna use that. Of course, looking at this just reminded me that they switched all the green Skittles to green apple instead of just leaving them as lime for a number of years, and now they're finally bringing lime back, which I'm super excited about because, oh my god, give me back my lime Skittles. What the hell's wrong with y'all? I'm not big on green apple flavored candy. Like, there are a few times where I will enjoy it, but I don't know. Not my favorite, personally. Also, there's something about green apple flavored candy and stuff that, like, it does something weird to my throat and makes me have to cough. It's really weird. So I don't know if I'm just, like, overly sensitive to whatever's in the artificial flavoring, or I don't know, something about it just affects me. But I will say, I do really enjoy those caramel apple pops that come out around, you know, fall, just in time for Halloween. I saw some lists that that's on, like, one of the most hated candies, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, I get candy corn. I understand that people don't like candy corn. I like it. But how can you hate those caramel apple pops? They're so good. Also, the caramel apple candy corns are fantastic. Of course, they're not making them in actual, like, candy corn shape anymore. They're making them their own little apples, and actually I have a bag of them, like, still right here. So yeah, we bought 2 bags of these because whenever I'm actually in the mood to finish one of them, I immediately want another one, and then I can never find one. So we went ahead and grabbed 2 of these. This is still the first bag. There's still like a handful left in here, and we still have a full bag in the pantry. I don't know, I guess I just wasn't feeling it this year. We were also inundated with a bunch of other snacks, so we're trying to eat those instead. And I just cannot handle as much sweet stuff as I used to be able to. Which I suppose is for the best, honestly. I know that will make my dentist happy. Though honestly, what would really make my dentist happy is I stop eating so much bread and crackers and stuff like that. Those actually do more damage to your teeth than candy. But yeah, that's not gonna happen. I just love bread too much. Get in there, come on. All right. So yeah, let me attempt to describe my setup for you. Because it's really something. I may post a picture of it later, but I also may not because my desk is very messy and I'm embarrassed about it. So, my normal setup, you know, when I'm streaming games and stuff on the PC, I've got a couple monitors, my keyboard, my mouse, my mixer, my stream deck, and a lovely little GDQ desk mat, as you see here. I love this thing. I have a webcam. This one right here that we're looking at is my usual webcam. I usually have that mounted on top of my monitor. Right now, it is sitting on top of a flexible metal pole, which, surprise, is a Christmas gift from my mother-in-law. Because I wanted to replace my microphone stand. I've got one that's on the floor right now, and I keep tripping over the legs, and it's really becoming a whole thing, so I wanted a new little mic stand that just clips to the side. And I gotta say, it's working stupendously for this right now, so this alone is worth it already. Get in there. There we go. So, the webcam is mounted on top of the little bendy arm thing. I don't have the microphone attachment on it because it would have just been in the way and tapping against my microphone, which is still in its regular setup on its normal stand. However, my webcam can't actually grip that little thing correctly. The little pole thing is too skinny. So I have put double-sided tape on said pole, and Brood grabbed me a few paper towels, and I have them wrapped up and double-sided taped to themselves on the pole, so that there's enough like give so that I can actually put the camera on the thing and it won't move. That's in front of my face right now, which is right next to the mic. To my side, I have a little card table set up where I've got a piece of cardboard where we're going to do the actual ironing so we don't damage the card table. Let me go ahead and fill those in, actually. And the iron is over there, as well as the extra bead bags, so I don't have them, you know, all over. And the camera I'm using, as I mentioned before, is a very, very old, low res. We'll just have to work with it. I'm actually shocked that it worked immediately when I plugged it in. I'm surprised it didn't have to do any, like, weird driver stuff, but it was fine. Anywho, that thing is mounted on top of a puzzle box. Not like, you know, Hellraiser puzzle box, but an actual box containing a puzzle. And so I've got that pointed at the card table. When I do actually start ironing stuff over there, it's going to be sideways, and we're just gonna have to deal with that, because that's how that is right now. Yeah, so, we're making it work. I actually did start this too far down. That's fine. Kitty has returned to your lap. Off, very good. So yeah, I miscounted this by 1, actually. Which is fine, because you know the neat thing about these little 29 by 29s is that they have these tabs. And so you can just link them together just like that. So yeah, there you go. Just for those 2 extras right there. And then another 2 extras that'll be like right here. It's fine. We're doing this. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I did design all of these things to be made on one board. I did want to keep these all kind of small so we wouldn't have to deal with, you know, this, but it's fine. So we're just gonna finish up the legs here. So what I'm trying to decide is whether we should do a couple of these and then go try to iron, or just immediately iron after each one. They will need some time to cool, and I do like to place my freshly ironed perlers underneath an old textbook of mine just to make sure that they stay flat. And considering that there is a cat roaming around, though she is safely contained in Brood's lap right now, it's probably a good idea to go ahead and melt those as soon as I can, especially now that I know she's not going to come and help. So yeah, I think we will go ahead and take care of that. So there will be a little bit of downtime in between. I need to plug in the iron and let it heat up, but not let it sit so long that it turns itself off. Oh wait, I see what my problem was. I made the legs too long. That's what the problem was. We don't need the second board after all. Hang on. Yeah, the legs need to start up here. Okay. So this is kind of where the toothpick thing really comes into shine. You can just easily lift it up and move it up one if you need to. Yeah, we'll just put those over there because we'll be needing them again soon. There we go. All good. Wait, not quite. Alright, there we go. Now it's all good. And I can remove the second board carefully. Alright. So yeah, generally I don't like going all the way to the edge here. Just as a way to kind of, you know, reduce possible accidents while ironing, but it's fine. me think about this for a second here. Okay, so we need that. Same thing, only mirrored. Sorry, that's like, it's inching its way back up because I'm trying to center it to my own body instead of keeping it in front of the camera. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and put in the white icing there. We are just about done with this little guy. Oh, come on. These white beads are really sticking to the toothpick for some reason. Not sure what that's about. Get off of there. Okay, cool. All right, there's our little man. Neat. He actually looks a lot better than I expected him to. Alright, y'all, give me 1 second to get the iron plugged in. Let's see if I can do that without knocking over the ironing cam. We shall see. I'm gonna mute myself because it's gonna be a lot of shuffling around, so enjoy the music. Alright. Probably for the best that I couldn't actually do the snowflake designs today, because that already took us, what? About 40 minutes just to do this little guy. That's fine, though. So yeah, you may have noticed I was messing with some paper there. If you're unfamiliar with fuse beads in any way, shape, or form, when you iron them, you need to put some kind of barrier between the plastic and your iron. Otherwise, you will ruin both things. If you get a little, like, beginner's kit or, you know, any kind of kit, really, sometimes if you just get a big old bucket of beads, you'll get some paper, too. And it's, they'll give you some small folded up sheets, and they get the job done. You can also just buy packs of that by itself as well. However, I feel a far more economical option is to just use regular old parchment paper. It gets the job done. Whatever you do, do not use wax paper. Asterisk. Unless you know what you're doing and can do it very carefully. It can be helpful for some very specific things, but I would not recommend that until you really fully, like, understand how the stuff works and, like, get familiar with the beads, get familiar with how quickly they melt, what kind of heat you want to use, and all of that. I've been doing these for years and years and years at this point, and I am still struggling to learn that, so. But yeah, we're just chilling right now. We're waiting for the iron to heat up. And actually, over the summer, I completed 2 very large projects. A buddy of mine had a brother who's going off to college, and he wanted some cool designs for his dorm. And wanted to know if I did commissions, and I was like, sure, buddy. So what he wanted was a copy of Mike Tyson's Sprite from Punch-Out, which actually came out very well, and a portrait of Guy from Street Fighter Alpha 3? I don't know. I only know Street Fighter 2 and a little bit of 5. Anywho, Mike Tyson was big. He took up, I think, 8 of these boards. Not completely, but, like, you know, over half of the last 2. And the Guy portrait took up 12. And that was 12 boards of every single peg being filled. I ended up having to remake the Guy one, so I had to make it twice. And oh my god, I learned many, many things. Brood also bought me a heat press, which I was gonna use for the stream, but it's a bit clunky to try to use for this. Also, the beeping noise it makes is pretty freaking loud, so I just wanted to use the regular iron for this. We also got a new iron during the course of those commissions, because the old iron I was using was one that Brood had from college, and it's heating pretty unevenly, so I wanted to get a newer one. Nothing too pricey, but, you know. And it's good. It's been working great. But yeah, those commissions were a bit stressful. I got to try out the duct tape method for the first time. And it worked pretty dang good on the Mike Tyson one. But again, the Mike Tyson Sprite wasn't just, you know, an entire board full of stuff, which God, it is so hard to get all of that to melt. And even then, I still messed it up. I tried melting the guy portrait by square, and it was fine with the exception of the very last square, which did not melt down enough, so it looks really misaligned, and I'm like very upset about it. And so when the guy came to pick up the commissions, I said, hey, I messed it up here, but if you're fine with it, then so am I. And he was just like, wow, this is so cool, because it's big. And I actually have the first one that I made and messed up still here. I may show that off at the end, but I'm not going to try to weave that in front of the camera right now. I'm not sure what to do with it. I don't want to throw it away, but also I can't, like, use those beads anymore or anything, so I don't know. Anyway, the iron should be warmed up, so I'm going to do the most dangerous part of any Perler project, which is picking this thing up and moving it over to be ironed. So I'm not going to be able to see chat too well when I'm over there, so yeah. I also think I'm going to go ahead and mute, because otherwise you're just going to hear a bunch of crinkling. I'm not going to have anything interesting to say over there, so alright. Enjoy the music, watch me iron. Whatever. Alright. And now we're just going to wait for our gingerbread man to cool down a little bit. So, I actually had the heat up way too high for a small little guy. I'm still conditioned from that commission there, so he melted a little bit more than I would have liked, but not a disaster by any means. So when you're doing perlers, there's a bunch of different ways, a few different styles, I guess you could call them. Techniques, whatever. So some people like to have the beads just barely melt so that the holes are still open. And you know, you can still see through them. Some people like to have the holes completely melted so that the holes are close up and the beads take on more of a square kind of pixelated shape rather than being little circles. And then again, there are some people who just only like, oh, I guess subdivisions of those are people who like to iron both sides and people who just like to iron one side and then, you know, leave the other one untouched. I'm kind of in between. I don't know. I like to have the holes still open, but not like wide open, you know? Sorry, looking for the beads that I want to use here. And I do recommend for most projects that you go ahead and iron it on both sides. That'll give you a little bit more stability. Because these things can break if they don't get ironed enough, obviously. Like it, the whole fusion is, you know, the plastic actually melting, so if you don't melt it very much, it doesn't really have that strong of a bond to form. And it's very easy to just break it apart again. Whichever style you choose is completely up to you. And again, you can try out a few things, see what you like as you get more comfortable with it. It is whatever you like. However, the important thing is consistency. You want to make sure that your project is, you know, ironed the same way throughout. Otherwise, it looks kind of, ugh. Which unfortunately happened with both of those commissions. Again, Mike Tyson didn't turn out too bad, but... God, that guy portrait. As much fun as it was learning how to do large commissions like that, I don't think I will ever make one that big ever again. That was extremely stressful, and having to make it a second time was a freaking nightmare. Of course, a big part of what made that bad as well was that I used a free website to convert the picture. Which, don't get me wrong, I love that website. I can't remember what it is right now. It's called, like, it's Perler something. Just Google, like, convert picture to Perler or something, and it should pop up. It is extremely useful. However, the thing didn't quite calibrate a bunch of the pictures correctly. I mean, a bunch of the colors correctly. So... that was kind of an issue. Okay, let me do some counting here really quickly. But yeah, I had to color correct while I was going along, and it was really hard for me to see between two of the tones that it picked. So honestly, that was the worst part, but oof. It made that project extremely challenging. The second time went way faster because I could just pretty much base it off of my old, my own design there. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We're counting this time because if we don't, this will actually cause us some pretty big problems. So for this design, I'm actually putting a black outline around it, and you'll see why as we continue. With bigger designs, I would have a lot more room to add in a little bit of shading, or I wouldn't have to use black. I could use, you know, a different shade of whatever color I was using. But I tried a few different colors, and honestly, black just looked a lot cleaner. Plus, you know, you get that whole high contrast thing, which I'm all about. I have not told y'all what I'm making yet. Let's see if you can figure it out. Well, Brood already knows, and he's the only one in here right now, so... At least that I know of. If you're lurking and would like to guess, now's the time. But then you wouldn't be lurking, would you? That's fine. Lurkers are always welcome. I am a big lurker in other people's chats. Even people that I know personally. Or... well, yeah. Unless it's Brood streaming. Then I won't shut up. The struggle. Oh my god, there we go. That's not where that goes. Come on. These black beads are also sticking to the toothpick a little bit. So you're probably watching me doing this and going, Chloro, why are you doing the outline first instead of just, you know, starting from the top and, you know, doing what you did on your gingerbread thing? And the answer is it really just depends on how much real estate the design takes up on the board. And what the actual design looks like. My brain just shut off, sorry. Looking at this pattern and trying to talk. So, for the gingerbread, like, you know, we started right at the top. Because, I don't know, that's how that pattern read to me. That's how that made sense. Do not need that many. Get back there. Come on. And that's how I drew up the pattern for it, so... Which, by the way, I found an awesome little app. I believe it's on... I know it's on iOS. I think it's probably on Android as well. Let me double check the name real fast. It's like Pearl Pop or something like that. Perly Pop. Perlypop. It's exactly what I've wanted all of these years as a tool to help me make designs without having to sit here and, you know, play speeds and then decide that, oh, this doesn't work, and, you know, make a big ol' mess. If you'd like to try it out, you can download it for free. They give you like one demo session, and then from there you have to buy it. And I got it for 15 bucks because apparently it was like a special offer or something. I don't know if it actually was or if it was just, you know, oh, this is the first time this account has opened this app. We'll give them the special offer, and if they close it out, then they have to pay 24 bucks for it. But I got it for 15, so I'm gonna take it. But yeah, I instantly fell in love with it. It does have a little bit of a little bit of weirdness to it. Perhaps that's a learning curve thing. But I've been very much enjoying it so far. I can sit there and whip up a design in like 20 minutes or so, depending on how detailed it is. That's not where that goes. That goes here. And then from there you can export your patterns into an image or PDF or whatever. It's cool. I like it quite a bit. I am not sponsored by them. It's just a cool little app and I like it. Come on now, come on. The other reason I started at the bottom on this design is that he saw me counting over 11 and then, you know, starting right here. This is how I ensure that the thing will actually fit all on one board because, as you can see, here and here we cut it a little close. Okay. This is actually the center thing, kind of. Okay, let me go 3. Alright. Now we just finish up this outline here. Come on, get in there. There we go. Alright, now we just go straight down the diagonal there. Makes that nice and easy for us. Speaking of sponsorships, we just wrapped up a Fortnite sponsorship that we were doing this week. And now I've been sucked back into Fortnite. I don't know, I've been missing it and looking for an excuse to get back in, and then the sponsorship opportunity popped back up, and I was like, yeah, alright. Well, not popped back up, popped up. So that was neat. Brutus downloaded it as well, so we're probably going to be playing that a little bit together. Maybe stream it together at some point next week. I don't know. We got a lot going on. We still have a lot of God of War Ragnarok to get through. Alright, y'all, the outline is done. Just in case you haven't figured it out yet, it is bells. With like some holly on top. So, when I made this pattern, I did just use yellow for the bells, which you can. But then I remembered that I have these gold beads, and I kind of want to use those. We'll get to them in a little bit. Right now we're going to do the holly leaves. And I'm going to try to fish out the last of the green bits from this little well because... I have 3 of these things in my little bead case filled with dark green, and this one is almost empty, and I've been working on it for years. That's the downside to having these, is trying to fish out the beads and get a good handful. I've dropped one. I will need to retrieve that before the cat frees herself again. But it's pretty chilly outside today, so she's probably gonna be in Brood's lap for a while. Or at least until he tries to get up, so. Oh my god, we're finally doing it! We're finally clearing out the green beads! I cannot tell you how immensely exciting this is, because that frees up another little Ziploc bag and helps me make more room in my bead drawers for... You called it more beads. Let me find that one that I dropped real quick. Well, I don't see it anywhere. It's gone forever. Don't worry about it. Alright. So we will actually be using our regular green for this. If you're looking for a specific color, it's just green. Perler green. Once again, if you're unfamiliar, there are a few different brands of fused beads. There's Perler, there's Hama, there's like a couple others I know whose name escaped me right now, but I like Perler. I've used some of Hama's beads before, and I just like how the Perler ones melt a little bit more. If you're doing a project, you typically want to stick with just one brand rather than mixing them together because of the way that they melt. That's just from my personal experience. And again, it all comes down to personal preference, so it's whatever. The nice thing about that app that I was telling you about, the Perlipop app, is that you can actually swap color palettes between the different brands. Also, they've got the color palettes for mini beads as well, if y'all are into those. I've never done those myself, but it does give you an option. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they have the, you know, the full options, but they have most of the, you know, commonly used colors, so it's pretty good. I thought that it had all the colors until I was looking for gold last night and I couldn't find it, so. But again, not a huge deal, and Again, it's not like you're actually making it with the beads and have to follow the pattern exactly. So you can change your mind at any point and do your own little thing. Just gonna fill in these holly leaves. And then we've got a couple berries as well. Alright. A few more here. Try not to spill them into the other spots. It's kind of difficult to grab a handful out of these little cases, though. I will say that. Even when they are full. Let's see. Alright, that row is just pure green. And then we make room for a berry right there. So I've mentioned this a little bit before. Oh, that one actually stays. Hang on. But actually acquired a new tool. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Brood got me an iPad, which I've been using a bunch for all kinds of designy things. I've been using Procreate, which has had its own, learning curve there, but I'm getting there. I'm starting to figure out how to make some stuff. And actually, that's how I made my Toe Jam and Earl t-shirt design. I made it all in Procreate. That's why it looks a little, rough around the edges, I guess. That is hand drawn. And it's nice because there are also versions of Photoshop and Illustrator available for iOS. Granted, they are watered down quite a bit, which I don't blame them, because some of those programs chug pretty hard on my PC, so, So, yeah. I have been trying to learn as much as I can. Trying to come up with some projects to use what new techniques I'm learning. Unfortunately, it's taken a while for me to get really any kind of idea. Like, I've been wanting to draw stuff and been wanting to make things, but the hardest part is getting ideas. And then since I'm still learning how to do all of this, the other hardest part is getting ideas that aren't, super ambitious. Because I am just a beginner. So yeah, I've been struggling a little bit on that accord, but once I get an idea in my head, I'll actually spend some time making some things. I'm not sure if I've actually used these gold beads in a project before. I think this is a brand new bag. Well, brand new. I've had this bag for several years at this point, I can assure you. So yeah, it's nice to actually use these. So yeah, once I get more used to drawing in Procreate and all that, I would like to, I don't know, possibly revisit some of my current emotes, or I may just leave them because they're fine. And just focus on making some new ones. We shall see. And then there is, of course, the whole rebranding thing. Not changing my name or anything, but I want to, try to get more of a cohesive design going for my Twitch stuff. Because what I've got right now was just kind of things I could come up with, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go with that. But yeah, I've been streaming for a bit more than 3 years now at this point, so I figure it's time. Maybe jazz some of my stuff up a little bit. Maybe update that starting soon screen. Add a few more things in. We'll see. Of course, for that I'm gonna have to figure out how to use After Effects again. But you can do small animations in Procreate as well, so I'd like to mess around with that a tad too. So yeah, that's the update of what's going on with me artistically, I guess. Next weekend I'm going to one of those little painting places where you they have a painting pre-made and they show you how to do it. And you can have, like, wine and stuff. I'm going to one of those with my stepmom. We've done a couple before, and we both really liked them, so... It's kind of become a little Christmas tradition. Hope it doesn't snow on you. Yeah. Yeah, I do too, because I don't want to be driving in that. I know we're actually not supposed to be getting any precipitation up here in any way, shape, or form. Which kind of sucks, but again, if I gotta be out driving in it, I guess I, prefer to not have to deal with ice and, you know, other drivers. Texas does not know how to handle ice or snow. Texas doesn't even know how to handle rain most of the time. And we get that quite a bit, so... But yeah, it's supposed to get down to like 20 here, which is kind of wild. But I suppose this is my fault, because like last week I was complaining about it being too hot to feel like Christmas. So, my bad, y'all. My tummy is growling. We gotta figure out what we're gonna do for lunch. Yeah, but I also kind of want to get at least one more design in before we wrap up for today. I'm not sure how I'm liking this gold. I mean, I'm obviously gonna keep doing it because I'm not gonna sit here and take all these out at this point, but... So yeah, I made this design with just, you know, a regular yellow for the actual bell part. No, it looks very flat to me, which again isn't bad because with the black outline you get the nice contrast there. Colors really pop. But yeah, I wanted to see how the gold will look. We'll see how it looks when it's melted too. It might look a little bit better. Figure out 3D? No. Though that does remind me, you can make little stands for your Perler guys. Which is something that I actually figured out when I was first doing these. Oh, I was just gonna say, we're done. We are not done. Now we're done. Alright. There you go. There's your bells. But yeah, really quick on the side here. Let me show you. So if you want to make a quick little stand, you just make yourself 2 of these. 5 on the bottom. And then, 2 on the top. Yeah, just make a couple of those. Make sure you don't get them too flat. And as long as your design isn't like gigantic to the point where it's heavy and will fall over. There you go. That's how you make little stands. I should have made that not gold and not put it in the spot where the light was reflecting. Hopefully you can see that a little bit better there. But yeah, that's something I did as a relatively youngin'. I was very proud of myself for figuring that out. You can also adjust the size as needed. But yeah, let's go get the iron turned back on, heated back up. Let's go see how our gingerbread man is doing. And we will go ahead and iron this, and then I've got one more design I think I want to do for y'all. And then we'll probably wrap it up, because, yeah, I'm getting hungry. Alright, so I've retrieved our gingerbread man. He came out a bit uneven, but like I mentioned, I had the heat up way too high, and so I kind of panicked a little bit. But yeah, he came out okay. Again, they don't need to be perfect. They just need to kind of look like the things that they're supposed to look like. So yeah, there you go. Now, if you'd like to make these into ornaments, hang them on your tree, or just hang them up wherever, what I recommend, you can take either a sewing needle or a push pin, whatever is thick enough to make a hole big enough for whatever string you want to use. For designs that are like mirrored images, so like you don't have a middle one per se. If you hang it up on like by one hole, it's gonna hang slightly to the side, and that stuff drives me nuts. So what I'd like to do for those is, number one, do not hang them by their very tips here. I mean, for this one, you could probably get away with it. It's fine because it melted super hard. But in general, I like to go down to a second one, so it's a little bit sturdier. And so yeah, you would want to put the string, you know, bring it down, maybe like bring it back out here, go back down, and bring it out through the back there. But what you want to be careful about that is sometimes it can make your design, like, it'll hang and be leaning a little bit forward. So, you know, again, just whatever looks good with whatever you're doing. But yeah, those are just my recommendations. Let's get this bell melted before I accidentally knock it off the table. I'd like to keep the stream chill and not be screaming. Let's go do this thing. I've got the iron set to a couple notches lower than I had it before, so this may take a few more passes, but it should come out a little bit better. We'll see. Alright, now we're gonna wait for the bells. That looked like it came out a little bit better, but we'll see. It's probably not gonna be like super even, but it is what it is. If you're curious as to what the big book is, it's the CCNA Routing and Switching Complete Study Guide, 2nd edition, by Todd Lammel. Good stuff. Routing and switching sucks. But the book was actually a big help. So, getting a lot of use out of that book these days. I'm not. Anywho, let's do one more design today. Something a little bit classic here. For this one, I'm going to need red, green, and I almost said blue. Red, green, and white are the colors we're going to be using, but it's a candy cane. And these days they are in any color you can think of, and maybe even some that you can't. So, if you want to make this for yourself, use whatever you like. Again, same as all the other projects, make it your own project, do your own thing. If you make innocent pictures, I don't know, I guess tweet them at me or something. I don't know. You don't have to, it's okay. But yeah, there's something real simple here. A little candy cane. Oh, I'm gonna have to dig the greens out of that thing again. Making a note for next time. Well, no, I'm not gonna dig all those out and put them in bags. I bought those things for a reason. Okay. So we are starting with white here. So this is actually the first design I made in that Perler Pop app. I made this on my demo thing. Alright, here we go. So I was trying to think of something. It's like, what's Christmassy? I don't know. So I started in the corner here. And yeah, I guess the traditional candy canes are just red and white stripe, but I wanted to throw some green in there. Just for something to add a little bit more visual appeal, I guess. I don't know, I like to have lots of colors and stuff that I do. Lots of colors, high contrast, you know, fun stuff. Not that other color palettes aren't fun, just, that's just what I like. That's not where that goes. There we go. And back to white here. Titanium white. Trying to remember what the red is. It's like alizarin crimson, but chat just calls it lizard crimson. God, the weekend they started the Bob Ross streaming on Twitch. Oh my god. I had that going the entire weekend. And I was actually working on a sewing project at the time. And I was staying up very late. Because I believe that's while I was unemployed. So I had no schedule to keep. So I pretty much just stayed up all night doing whatever. Most of that time was spent playing Destiny. But eventually I found some crafts to work on. And actually, the project I was working on at the time did not get finished. But I would like to finish it one day. And it's a Grey Warden uniform from Dragon Age. I got stuck on a specific spot. I was trying to figure out how to do the silver scales on the front of the tabard. And I ended up doing what I do in those situations, sitting there agonizing over it for days, and then finally deciding, if I go through with this, I'm just gonna screw it up, so never mind. And then just put the project away. But I do still have all of the parts in my closet. And I would like to return to that project one of these days. And now that I've gotten slightly more confident, I'd like to add that I was hand stitching all of that because at the time, the tension on my sewing machine was incorrect. And for the life of me, I could not figure out how to fix it. And so that sewing machine just sat in my closet for a very, very long time. Until finally, a couple years back, I pulled it out, looked up the manual online, and decided I'm going to troubleshoot this thing and I'm going to make something with this. And I did. I made a very simple Perler cosplay. Perler from Dark Souls, which I wore for Halloween that year. It's not impressive by any means, and a lot of the edges are really rough and actually just straight up unfinished, but the parts that you could actually see on stream looked fine to me. That project was interesting because I also learned how to dye clothes, and not just, you know, regular cloth, faux fur. Dyed some white faux fur and made it green. Didn't quite come out to the shade that I wanted, but it's okay, it was close enough. And I also just got a little cheap medieval helmet from the Halloween store. Spirit Halloween, actually. And repainted that. we went all over the place, to craft shops, the costume stores, all kinds of places to find a single red feather to put on that helmet. A single one large enough and, you know, not super shop worn. Eventually what we ended up doing is we went to a party city, and I think we asked one of the employees, like, or did Brood just find it? I can't remember. I think Brood may have just found it. We were going down some aisle and it was like something for like a casino party or something, and it was a little headband with a fake flower on it and a couple feathers. And so what I ended up doing was just buying that thing and then detaching the red feather from it and just throwing the rest of it away. Cause it was broken at that point and I wasn't gonna use it. But yeah, that was a whole freaking ordeal and it was very funny. But hey, it's memories, right? I would like to sew some more stuff, but god, like, material's expensive, and I'm like I don't feel like I'm good enough to start sinking money into that. But one of these days I'm gonna find a project and be like, okay, this is the time. Same with like knitting and crocheting and stuff. Like, I want to buy a bunch of yarn and make a bunch of stuff, but I am just not good at that at all. I've tried to learn many times, and I was decent back when I was practicing a bunch, but just can't get my stitches consistent. Do I want that one to stay green? Hang on. Let me add the white to this next section. I'm looking at this one right here, and I'm thinking I want to change that from green to white. Because I feel like that band is a little... Yeah, I think I am going to do that, actually. Swap that pattern just a little bit. Yeah, that makes it look a lot more consistent with the rest of the candy cane. It follows the pattern. Imagine that. That's something I really like about doing these view speed projects. Is that if there's something about the design you don't like, you've got time to go back and change it. Which you can do that to an extent with more traditional forms of art, I guess. But you know, sometimes you paint something and that's just how it is. It's just like that forever. And you can try to cover it up, but then it'll just make it worse unless you like know what you're doing and are actually okay at it. That being said, I have several projects under my belt where I have just finished ironing one of these things, particularly large ones, mind you, when I realized that I've made a pretty big mistake, which, granted, it's probably things that most people wouldn't notice unless they really looked for, but it's me and I need it to be perfect, so... I get really irked and then have to remake it. Yeah, something something fun about me. I've mentioned several times I've got some pretty severe anxiety as well as depression. I was also an only child and raised by a computer engineer. So I have an extreme tendency towards perfectionism. And I always have these ideas for these huge, ambitious projects. And then I eventually stress myself out so hard that I just get overwhelmed and shut down instead of doing said project. Which is, you know, just great, because I love doing all this crafty stuff. And this does involve me to have to plan things out. And it can be overwhelming at times, but I'm learning how to get over that. And honestly, if I can just get it started, I'm usually committed enough to the point where I will try to see the project through. With the exception of that thing I just told y'all about. It's okay, I didn't give up on it. We're just putting a pin in it for now. So yeah, I guess my my little bit of advice to y'all is that if you are having trouble starting a project because you're worried about messing it up or doing it wrong or, you know, anything like that, my advice is to just start it. Don't let your brain talk yourself out of it. Just start doing it. If you make some mistakes along the way, it's fine. You'll learn. More often than not, you are going to be the only one who knows that they're there. Which will still bother you, but you know, you don't have to worry about other people going, ah, terrible, man. You are your own toughest critic. Always keep that in mind. And there you go. I will, stop trying to be inspirational now. But yeah, just do the thing. You'll be happier that way, trust me. So yeah, there's our candy cane. A pretty simple little project there. Nice and quick. We're gonna iron this thing. We're gonna go take the bells out from underneath the CCNA routing and switching book. So yeah. I'm gonna go iron these. Alright, while the iron's heating up, I've got our bells here. Could have used a little bit more time in the middle. I think I am actually going to go back over that just a little bit. Because they are just barely melted. It's fine around the edges, though. Let's see how the other side looks. So yeah, one of the things you need to learn how to mitigate is having your holes kind of blow out. Let's see, this one kind of did that a little bit. That happens because air needs to escape. Let me actually look at the gingerbread man here. So yeah, this is really more of a problem if you are trying to, you know, completely hold it further back. I forgot the autofocus is turned off. There we go. If you're trying to completely, you know, close the holes like this, you have to really be careful that you don't blow out any of the beads. And actually, we didn't really have that happen, which I'm glad. I guess if I could find one that was close, it would probably be these up here. But yeah, it just makes your beads look kind of, again, let me put it back. Kind of squarish. And it makes the holes look weird, and I don't know. It's not exactly aesthetic, but again, it doesn't ruin your project, it's fine. But yeah, you really want to be careful about that. Air needs to escape while you are putting the hot iron over it. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Keep those holes from getting blocked. Let your project breathe. Iron should be warm enough by now. I've been waiting way longer than it takes, but I don't want to get up and, you know, find out that it's not ready yet. Let's hop on over there and iron that candy cane, and then we will wrap it up for today. Alright, now we're just gonna chill a little bit while we let that one cool down. Actually gonna take the book off of it, it should be okay. So yeah, I like to immediately put a heavy flat object on top of any of my projects just to make sure that they don't curl, because that does happen, especially if you're melting at a higher heat. Which again, you generally shouldn't do. You want to keep the heat, you know, high enough to melt the beads, but not high enough to really melt them. That's actually what happened to my my commission the first time. It actually bubbled up because I had the heat up so high. So yeah, don't do that. That's the first time I've ever done that, and oh my god. How can I put these where you can see them both at the same time? Closer. Closer. What if we tilt them like this? There we go. Alright. We can get rid of that iron cam over there. Iron Cam was also supposed to double as Cat Cam because she was constantly sitting on the cardboard there while I was getting all this ready. But she is curled up in Brood's lap, and it is absolutely adorable because he's got his blanket because it's so cold, and she's just snuggled up in the blanket, so he has to lift it up, and she pops her head up and just, huh? She just looks so disoriented, and then she just starts purring. And she puts her head back down. So sweet. Alright, candy. I almost said candy corn. Wrong season. Maybe we should do, we should do these for Halloween. We should do these for other holidays. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, well. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright. Candy cane got a little bit over melted on the back. It's also still warm. So I went a little bit lighter on the front. Or rather, this is the front. But the cool thing is, after you've made these, you get to decide which side's the front. So there you go. We're calling this the front now. Well, yeah, you got yourself a little candy cane. Hang it up. This one's even got a nice little hole right here up at the top, so you don't even need to poke it with a pin or anything. You can just put some thread right through it. Unless you want to hang it up, you know, make sure that it's diagonal. Or you can just, you know, hang it on the actual tree limb. It's whatever. But yeah. This was fun. We should do this again. I will figure out how to make the setup a little bit better, but we learned a lot of things today. We made some little guys. That's too far. That's actually going off the camera. That's another thing I need to do. I need to, like, tape off the edges of where y'all can see here. But yeah. This was fun. We should definitely do it again. Say thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you had some fun. If you enjoyed these nice little tunes here. I hope they are indeed YouTube safe. Pretzel says they are, so just gonna have to trust them there. Actually, I was going to put myself in front of the camera, but I actually don't want to touch it, so we're just gonna trust that it's me here. Hang on, maybe I can just shove my face. Oh god. Okay, I'm not doing that. Oh. I'm probably gonna go ahead and upload this before I get all of my game stuff up to date. I'll probably put this up tomorrow, which will be the 18th. Anywho, alright, I think that's gonna be it. Y'all take care. Enjoy the rest of the year. There's not too much left of it. Enjoy the beginning of the next year. Have a fun Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, any other holidays I can't think of right now. Whichever ones you celebrate. I hope you have fun. Okay. That's it for me. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. Bye.